Hey everyone, I thought I would take a quick moment to kind of go over my gear. I got a lot of people that ask me, what is this, what is that, what am I using? So this is a quick video going over everything that I use on a real estate shoot. I thought the best way to do that is just look at the back of the car and see exactly what I'm using, because I usually bring exactly what I need and not much more than that. So first thing, let's go in the gear bag. First thing I'm going to use for flash most of the time on the outside and the inside is this Godox AD200. I'm sure a lot of you have seen other real estate photographers use that. I have a pistol grip that I put on there. It's just one of those ones that unscrew at the bottom, and you could either put this like this if you wanted, make it look like you're checking people's speed, or you could put it like this, however you prefer. This is one item I can't do without. Now to go over things like backup, which I've constantly said you need to do. I have I've got 3 batteries for this thing, mostly because the switch likes to break on these things. Quick tip, when you buy one, get one on Amazon and get their extended warranty. If for some reason it breaks for any reason, you can return it, no questions asked, and they'll give you a brand new one. So, tip. Plenty of batteries for this. I very rarely ever have to change these out if it's got a full charge on it at a real estate shoot. But in case I forgot to charge it, I've got another battery. Next, I've got a rocket blower, and that's in case I get any dust or anything on the sensor. I can just open up the camera, blow it out real quick, and keep moving. I need something quick to fix that problem. All right. Other than that, I've got some remote triggers. This is what I use to take to make the shutter release without wires. And this is and I brought my glasses because I'm old, the Yongnuo RF603C2. Now the C means Canon, but these do work on Sony. So if you have a Sony, these would be the ones you would need to get. On that note, let me show you how I'm using these. Here's my camera. It's a it's a Sony A6500. Now that means it is not a full frame. For those of you who just want full frame, fine. What I have found, because I have both, but I like using the crop sensor just because, well, they're a cheaper camera, and for the size of the photo that most people need for the MLS, you can't tell much of a difference at all. As a matter of fact, when I flipped from full frame to crop sensor, I didn't miss a beat, no one said a thing, and I thought the photos still looked really good. So I like these cameras. But what I have on here on the top is I have that Yongnuo that we just went over on the bottom level, okay? So that is how I make this thing, how the shutter releases. That is what's doing that. Now, the top part is made by Godox. It's the XT32C. And that's the dumb version, it's the cheap version. And what that does is that goes to this. So whenever I click my remote here, that is going to let it take a photo. I use, and we'll go over that in a second, but Yongnuo flashes that I put in different rooms. This bottom part that looks like this, that is when I press a button, it is going to trigger not only the camera, but it's also going to trigger all the other Yongnuos that I have all over the house. As far as the big Godox that I keep on my side, that is the XT32C, so they're all working in unison. There is a connector that I use to go from the side of the camera that fits into the side of the 603. And just because I'll never remember what this is, I kept the package. It's made by Phototech. And what are they calling this thing? Well, I don't see a name on it, but I bought it at photoandtech.com. So anyway, what you're looking for is this size pin on this side goes in this Yongnuo, and that's a 2.5 millimeter end. And the other one, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but a USB mini maybe. It just fits in the side there. So that's what's making the Yongnuo trigger the flash on the inside. I figured you guys might be interested in that. All right, next is my flashes that I hide, you know, in other rooms as I'm taking photos to make, let's say I'm doing a kitchen, but I can see through to another room. I'm going to put this flash there so that room is illuminated from what I can see, just the same as the room that I'm in. Or if I'm putting this at the top of the stairs to bounce the flash off of the ceiling and come down the stairs so it looks nice and lit, I'm using the YN563. This is an older version of a Yongnuo. What I like about them is they work great. Love them. They are cheap. I have had some that didn't work that great. They're around $40 to $50 because they're used, they're old, and I get them on eBay now. You could still find some brand new on there. But they work fantastic. I'm sure the newer Yongnuos would work just as fine, but anyway, that's what I use. And this is the flash that's being triggered by this on the camera. So, just to clarify it, and the stand that I'm using is just a cheap light stand. I guess I should go over how it's connected, because that was a fun little thing. So I went through different methods of connecting the flash to the stand. So as you can see, I've got that screw top on the top of this, and on the bottom of the Yongnuo, I have a cold shoe mount that just has a little female side on there so I could screw this into it. And what I do is I clamp the flash onto this cold shoe real tight. What I like is the cold shoe also has its own little tightener on the side that takes a screwdriver, because you want that good and tight so it never falls off. And then I screw this onto here and it stays on there rock solid, which I like. And I've done all different other methods and lost flashes because they fell off and fell on the floor. This is the only method I could find to where I feel nothing but confidence in keeping that on there. The tripod that I use, let's see, Manfrotto 055. I've got two of these. One is the one I use, the other one's a backup. I love this tripod. There is some maintenance that you need to do on these things, meaning every now and then the legs that extend, they get real loose. No, these aren't very loose because I keep them somewhat tight. But there's a star bolt on the top, so I went out and found a star screwdriver type thing, and I always make sure I keep it in the car with me and tighten this up whenever it needs it. And these things, let's see if I can find it. Bear with me, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I finally found it. There's this little plastic thing, looks like a cheap ring you'd put on your finger, that comes with these Manfrottos. And do not throw this away. A lot of people see this, don't know what it is, and throw it away. This is how you tighten up the inside of the legs. Like if one of these clamps here become loose and don't hold anymore, you put that in there and turn it. So you don't want to lose this thing. Thought I'd mention that because that could save you some aggravation if you were to happen to buy this model and throw this away. You'd really regret that. The head that I'm using on here, this is, I believe it's called, and I'm guessing on this one because I cannot remember. I've got two of them. This is a Manfrotto head. It's a geared head. And I believe this is the 410. If not, I will put something on the video to tell you I messed that one up. But what I like about a geared head, and most real estate photographers do, is that you can dial in the roll, pitch, and yaw, meaning back and forth, side to side, any direction, by turning these. If you have a ball head and you try to get that lined up, you'll find that you get it just right and you go to tighten it and it moves just a little bit. You'll fight with it all the time. But I love this thing because it lets you get focused in, not focused in, but the composition nailed in, and it has this leveling bubble on the top. That is what I use to make sure that everything is level. I know the camera's got a built-in one, but I find that this works better to get me 98% correct. The rest of the correction I'm going to do in Photoshop or Adobe Raw. A lot of people ask me when they see me put my AD200 into here. It's around my waist. What is this? What is this? This is nothing more than a cheap tool belt. I'll show you every angle I can of it. I don't think that they still, I've had this one for like 6 years. I don't think they have this exact model. It's AWP-HP. Who cares? You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and find one of these, and they sell these belts. At least they did when I bought this one separately. So I just bought this cheap belt and this cheap tool thing, and it works great for putting in the AD200, and it doesn't fall out unless you really bend over maybe to pick something up. So keep that in mind. All right, umbrella. I always bring an umbrella and a backup umbrella. Backup one is right here. It's actually brand new, never used it. It's made by Limo Studios. I got this on eBay. So who knows if the name brand's any good, but I use them all the time and they work real good. So it's a shoot-through umbrella, just a cheap one. I'm not sure how wide this is, maybe 32 inches, something like that. But anyway, you'll see in my videos that I love using this. All right, drones, I use the Phantom 4. I use this for most of my stuff. And I have a backup that I always carry with me. And it is the little tiny Mavic Mini. Because I can throw this anywhere. It's always in my car. For some reason, I forgot to bring my main drone. I got this as a backup. It works really well, except for windy days. This thing will blow away. So there's your review on the Mavic Mini. It's great unless it's windy. An umbrella. This may be like, oh, how's that a piece of gear? It is a piece of gear. When you're out doing a photo shoot, let's say you're 45 minutes away from home, and it starts to rain. I'm not going to pack up and go back. I use a real big, wide umbrella to cover me and the camera from getting wet. And I will never leave the home without it, because it sucks when you don't have it, because there's not really much you can do. Shooting in the rain's never fun. Now, I'm on the road a lot, and from where I live to where all my business is about 45 minutes away. One thing I carry is a bag of quarters. Strangely enough, why a bag of quarters? Because there's been times I've been 45 minutes or even further away from home and forgot my wallet, because I'm just that bright. And it's good to have some sort of currency in your car. So I used to keep 20s, you know, 10, 15, $20 bill hidden somewhere. I find a reason to spend that on lunch or whatever. So I found out that if I put a bag of quarters in there, I'm less likely to order a $10 lunch and try to pay in quarters. So this has stayed in my car for well over a year now. So bag of quarters, and it's good for toll if you need it. A hat. I bring a hat with me. Of course, I am bald. I must have something over my head to keep the sun off, but I keep one in the car. So if you're a hat person or whatever, you might want to bring one. You never know how long you'll be spending out in the sun sometimes. Okay, and last but not least, I always talk about bringing a backup camera. If you're wondering why I didn't pull out the backup camera and what kind of backup camera I have, well, I'm using it as a video camera right now, and that is another A6500. So I have two A6500s that I bring with me on photo shoots. And when I do a video for you fine folks, I'm using one to do the video and the other one I'm using to do the photos. However, since it is in my gear bag at all times, if my camera was to break for any reason, I can go over to the A6500 because it's the exact same camera. I don't miss a beat, just keep going. So it serves as a good backup. So anyway, that's my gear. I hope these things have done you some good or given you an idea of what professionals use for photos. Again, you could spend a lot more, or you could spend about what I do and still get away with some decent photos. So thank you very much, and you all have a great day.